Yes, people. Big up to you. 12th man is back. This is London is back. And you know what? We're a couple of panelists short, but I've got to go live because we've been starting chatting already, people. And we better do it live instead of behind the scenes because there's a lot of talking points. It feels like this hasn't been back for a while, this show, man. So the international breaks got in the way. A lot of other games have got in the way. FA Cup's got in the way. So we're back. Big up to everyone. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got Lawless going to be here later. We got Deji going to be here later. We should have Rich join us because D's away on holiday at the moment, even though Palace are absolutely flying. And I wanted to kind of get Lawless and D on this, man, because Lawless and D need a lot of talking because, man, Lawless, wow. I don't know what he was claiming at the start of the season, but West Ham ain't looking too good, and Crystal Palace all of a sudden have trumped them. Big up to Don, who's in the house. Big up to Igal, who's on tonight, only for a short period of time. I thought I'd get another gooner on here just to talk about Arsenal yesterday. I think let's start with Arsenal and Chelsea, seeing as it's Arsenal and Chelsea on here, because you didn't like the title, Don. Chelsea looked poor. I haven't seen Chelsea today. I've been at the pub all day in the sunshine. So all I got told was that it was a dead game and it was looking pretty poor again. And Chelsea, I see Tottenham versus Chelsea, and I thought it was Dagenham versus, I don't know, who do you want to call it? Leyton Orient. It was that bad, man. Jeez, I don't know what's going on. This season there's been some dead games.
Facts.
I don't know what your thoughts are, Gal. Let me come to you first. Let's start with Chelsea because I haven't seen the game. I don't know if you saw it today. You said their attack was pretty bad. The rest of it looks okay. We got Fofana out again. I mean, just upgrade on that, brother, because he's done. He's dead out here, man. He's finished like Reece James. The pair of them need to be upgraded upon now. And Chelsea got a lot of work to do, man.
Actually managed to stay, longer than what I expected,
Hey, I'm just gonna say this, Chelsea. You guys are lucky that there's other teams around you dropping points. Man City drop points, Nottingham Forest drop points, all these other teams dropping points around you. You kind of don't feel as bad about dropping points today. You actually gained a point on certain teams, like Nottingham Forest, who lost. So it's not all doom and gloom. And overall performance, let's be honest, this is Chelsea, the blueprint on how to beat Chelsea. You set up well defensively, and they take as many opportunities to knock the door down. But if they don't get you, you can get away with a point at least. And Brentford, they didn't really take their chances. So a draw is a fair result. Chelsea, I was talking about it. Their defense was the problem to start the season. Now it's their attack. Due to injuries, due to players being out of the team for a little while, and Jackson and Cole Palmer, and just their attack, which was firing to start the season, has somewhat, I don't want to say found out, but teams have a better sample size on Chelsea, and they kind of know what you're going to do a little bit more. So they're more prepared for how you're going to attack them, and they respect you more, because I think teams didn't respect you to start the season. Wolves were ridiculous. They scored 2 goals. They were getting all giggity, and then they concede like 6 to you. So teams aren't doing that anymore. But yeah, Chelsea, I wouldn't say it's a poor performance. I'll just say this is more of what we've seen from Chelsea for the last couple of weeks. Toothless in front of goal.
Yeah, go.
Got a lot of work to do, Don, and a lot of work to do in the summer, Don.
Bro, we got a lot of work to do, boss, man. You know this. Like, for me, looking at the game today, I know you didn't watch it, right? So let me talk you through the lineup first of all. So he started in Cuckoo up top. He didn't start Palmer. He didn't start Jackson. Obviously,
he's rubbish. He's rubbish.
In Cuckoo, bro. In Cuckoo, I'll get into him in a second, innit? But I saw a lot of Chelsea fans crying about the lineup. End of the day, Potts, Jackson's been out for about 2-3 months, and then you had Palmer, who just came back from injury as well, right? You can't overload these guys, bro. We only just played the other day. You know what I mean? You have to rotate the squad. You have to be able to keep people fit. That comes as the job as the manager, bro. You know what I mean, right? And then he started Reece at left back. He rotated Cucurella as well. But I think with Cuckoo, that's more to do with we've got a game on Thursday, innit? He needs to give this guy a bit of rest. He plays literally every single game. You know what I'm saying, right? But
John, just back. What's your thoughts on Maresca? I never heard them in a while.
Maresca, bro, I think Maresca started the season off quite well. He's had a bit of a drop off from, I'll probably say, the Christmas period. I didn't like what he was saying, Igal, in terms of like, we're not in a title race, we're not ready to win. Because if he just kept the mentality of we'll take it game by game, I reckon would have won more games during that period, bro. I think that mentality kind of went down to the players, and a lot of them just became, laxy daisy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we did our business over that Christmas period, we're not scrambling for top 5 right now. Yeah, we're probably like 6 points, 7 points better off. You know what I'm saying? But today, Potts, like I said, the lineup wasn't great. Understandable. He had to move people around because of the injury situation and whatnot, right? As soon as Jackson comes on the pitch, we started to create some good chances. First half, Brentford didn't really create fuck all themselves. They had like one shot. We had one shot as well. Second half, bro, Jackson had a chance on goal. Reese had a chance from a corner. You know what I'm saying? You had Palmer had a chance last minute of the game. Neto had a chance. We had a lot of half chances today, and there was actually a few balls that Neto whipped into the box where I'm looking at it thinking, bro, if we had an Osimhen there, that's going in. If you have a Gokeres there, that's going in. If you've got a box striker in a game like today, we win that game probably 1-0, 2-0. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because you're not going to create clear-cut chance after clear-cut chance every game. That's not realistic, bro. So today was another example, bro, why we need a striker. I thought in the second half we did enough to win the game. But I think overall, the game was the draw was a fair result because Brentford actually had the better chances. They had a clear chance that they should have scored right in front of goal. The guy should have, sort of dived his head towards it, but he kind of like headed it downwards and the ball bounced over. And then Wisa had another chance just before full time as well. So I think a draw is a fair result. But end of the day, like I said, I don't think it's all doom and gloom. Like Igal said, I thought defensively today, Chalobah and Tosin for the best part of the game were good. Sanchez gave away a few scrappy balls, but in the second half, he made a very good save again. I thought Reese, for the most part, he dealt with Mbeumo quite well. Gusto defensively, there's one chop that Sade did against him, but other than that, I thought he was decent. He was a bit sloppy on the ball sometimes, but defensively, he didn't really get cooked like that much. You know what I'm saying? So it's our attack that's letting us down, right now, man. If it's not our attack, it's our defense. If it's not our defense, it's Maresca. If it's not the midfield, it's something else. You know what I'm trying to say? I thought Caicedo had another good game today. But yeah, overall, it's just a bit of a stale game, Potts. Bit of a stale game, man.
I'll say this: jury's still out on Maresca. As a rival, watching Chelsea, I don't see him make too many impacts throughout the 90. I see certain games won by Cole Palmer, certain games won by individual brilliance. But how many times could you say this season you've seen Maresca make a change to go and win you a game?
Bro, I've seen it. Bro, start of the season, he was very, very good with the team that he was using, right? Because we had everyone available. That's one thing I've noticed about him, Igal. When he's got a fully fit squad, Maresca cooks, right? As soon as guys start to get injured and that's when he starts to struggle a little bit because he's got like a core of players that he trusts. And then guys like Felix Vega, he just leaves them. You know what I'm trying to say? He just leaves them to just die on the bench, bro, right? But today, overall, I don't think there was much you could have done, bro.
Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me on that? Because you kind of both.
I think, no, that's what I'm saying. I think the jury's out. I think a lot of people are saying get him out. And I'm like, bro, he showed me a very good start to the season. Something that, like, his best is better than Poch's best at Chelsea, right? A lot of guys like to hang on to, oh yeah, Poch won 6 games at the end, 5 games in a row at the end. Bro, a lot of those games won, teams won the beach. Some of those games we should have even lost. Against Brighton, we were lucky to win. Against Bournemouth, we were fucking lucky to win that game, right? And overall, most of the season, he weren't setting the team up quite well. But with Maresca, I've actually seen him set the team up quite well part of the season. And in the second half, he's tailed off. So it's been a mixed season. I don't want to keep chopping and changing managers. You know what I'm trying to say? So I just hope that he'll get top 5. That will buy him a bit more time. We make the right signings in the summer and we go again. If next season he's doing the same shit, then there's more of a debate to say, okay, get him out. But to just say get him out, like right now, when we can still get top 5, is mad to me, bro. It's mad. Obviously, we need to win the conference as well.
I don't think Chelsea's timeline is as far as people think it is when it comes to how good you could be. But I don't know how long your owners want you guys to progress that. Like, if your owners continue to buy young players in the defense, in the midfield, it's going to take a while for them to all get used to each other. But if you start buying experienced center backs, experienced forwards, you get a Victor Osimhen, you add him to this team, you get a defender of the ilk of, I don't know, that guy from Brentford who's quite quality, and you add him with a more experienced center.
You mean
Yeah, you get no, forget about him. If you go and raid Nottingham Forest. If they don't get Champions League football, and you
Murillo, or
you get Morello, that improves you massively. The guy Hossein also improves you. But it seems like you need a combination of attacking strength and defensive quality to be added to this team. But also the age profile can no longer just be 18-year-olds, 21-year-olds. There has to be some combination of senior players coming in that have done that to help guide some of these guys. Because your attack is very useful. Your defense is very useful. You missed guys like Thiago Silva and some senior talent to come in and help guide these guys on how to win. Because you don't win that Champions League without Conte, Jorginho, and Thiago. And those are guys, and you don't have any senior players in your team right now.
Bro, now we do have senior players in the team, Miguel. We do, man. We've got guys like Cucurella. We've got guys like even Reece right now. You can call him a senior, bro. Like, what you mean? Yeah, do you mean winners? We need winners in the team.
I'm talking about people who are mainstay like pieces that are winners, not peripherals. I think your fullbacks are good, but neither of them are going to have as much of an impact as your leading centre back. Neither of them are going to have as much of an impact as as Conte or Jorginho, who are running the game throughout the middle, and then you have no one in the forward line who's ever shown that level of consistency and won major honors.
I think what it is for me, Gal, the way how football is right now, right? You can see we're all shopping from the same place. You know, like in the summer, we're going to be after the same strikers. We're going to be after the same left wingers, right? If you want to bring winners into Chelsea right now, you're basically only really looking at Real Madrid players or Man City players, right? And most of these Man City players are dead. They're finished. KDB's finished. I don't want Bernardo Silva. Mahrez is in Saudi, bro, right? Aguero's retired, yeah? So you're now looking at the next batch of players. You need to pick people up where you're like, okay, these guys are on the verge of being world class. Okay, right now, if you want to consider them world class right now, that's who you bring in. So we need like 3-4 players who are ready to come into the first team, the 11 straight away, right? We need a centre back that's going to come in for Fofana straight away. We need a striker straight away. We need a left winger straight away. That's what we need, bro. We need to elevate the 11 straight away.
Let me rephrase it. It's not only about winners. Maybe forget about winners. It's about people with the right character and the capability and scope to grow. Because I feel like some of the guys you've been signing have potential, but they don't have the current capability to compete at the level you need them to.
Yeah, but I disagree though. To an extent though, Gal, because if you look at the likes of Caicedo's got a lot of potential, but right now he's quality right now, right? Lavia, he's been done by injuries. He's got a lot of potential, but he's quality right now, right? Palmer, I know Palmer's been on poor form. Again, a lot of potential, but he's quality right now. Enzo, a lot of potential, quality right now. So I hear what you're saying, but for me, bro, the way football is right now, I don't know. People kind of talk to me as if there's still Neymars and that in the market. Like it's not like that right now, bro. You know what I mean? It's really not.
I think you need 6. I think you need 6.
I think a lot of the signings you named were relatively were gambles. Some of them that worked in Cole Palmer. Obviously, Caicedo and Lavia were relatively known. Those are proper signings. I'm talking about bringing in Madueke. I'm talking about bringing in some of these guys you brought in, like Badiashile and all these other guys that you brought in. There is some you're trying to get the high end, the potential, but it's almost like it's a football manager signing. If it doesn't work, you want to flip them quick.
You know what our biggest issue's been as well, Miguel, yeah? Like, if you look at Madueke, for example, I've always said, for me, he's a very good squad player to have. Because imagine bringing Madueke on, like 70 minutes or something like that, right? And he's running up against tired legs. Even for you guys, you would take Madueke to be a backup for Saka, bro. You will happily take him. You know what I'm saying, right? We tried to bring Olise. You're forgetting, we tried to sign Olise. We couldn't get over the line. We tried to sign Osimhen. We couldn't get over the line, right? So this summer, we need to get over the line, because I know for a fact Chelsea are going to be in for these big names, yeah? But we need to get over the line for them, right? The same way that we did for Caicedo, for Lavia.
How many players do you need, Don? How many players do you need? I think you need 6 in the first team.
I think we need a centre-back to come in for Fofana. I think we need a centre-back to come in.
You need 2.
Let me tell you, I think we need a centre-back for Fofana as an urgent requirement. I know people like to cook coal on that, but I honestly think if this guy had more protection in front of him, as well as a better right centre back next to him, he would look better, right? Like what he did at the start of the season. But if we upgrade on him, fair enough. I don't mind, right? We need a new goalkeeper. You know this already. I don't think Jorgensen's been given enough opportunities, but we need a new goalkeeper, right? Maybe just give that chance to Petrovic, because again, when I look in the market, guys are telling me Maignan, injury prone. Guys are telling me Costa, he ain't got the height that I want, right? People just recycle the same names, yeah? And then we need a striker. We need a left winger. So that's 4 straight away for the first team, bro. I'm looking at other places, right wing, okay, cool. We've got Esteval coming in. You've got Neto there right now. I think Neto will be a lot better when we get a striker. So I'm looking at 4 positions in it for me that are vital. How about you, Potts? When you say 6, what positions are you looking at?
Goalkeeper, front 3, centre-back pairing.
I think if you spend 150 on 3 players of quality in the goalkeeper, center forward, and what was the last one? Defense. If you spend 150 on 3 players of quality in that areas, I think you're good enough to compete next season for the league.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. What's a priority right now for Chelsea is a left winger and a striker. I know we're gonna get these guys, but the question is gonna be who. Right, left wing, you guys have the same issue as well. We're looking at Gittins from Dortmund. He might be one that we get. Semenyo, listen, I'm not sure on that guy, innit? Like, I'll be real, people. The only left wingers that I really want at Chelsea is KK, but he's gone to fucking PSG already, or Rodrigo. Everyone else, I'm like, meh. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying.
I agree.
The quality
I agree.
of right now.
I don't think there's any left wingers about that we go raw. That's the one you want. Like for me, Lookman, I like Nico Williams, but are they going to take you to the next level? Are they going to be ready now? Massive risks. Yeah. All of these guys are. Mitoma, another one.
100%. But
the thing is, Don, could I ask you a question on that actually?
Yeah.
Because obviously you buy a lot of players for like the Brazilian leagues and stuff. Predominantly, I think you're going to loan them out to try and get some sort of value in them. But then there are Premier, you say Semenyo, you're not too sure of, but there are Prem proven players. Do you need to maybe build on the Prem first before looking long term? Because you say the striker, we've got a striker who's on mad form right now in Mateta. You know, do you look maybe to that level for just the near future and then obviously build from that, or do you go straight for the top?
Bro, when you look at the strikers in the Prem right now, I mean, away from Haaland, there's Isak. That's the obvious one. I'll happily take Isak. Mateta, bro, I would happily take him as a second choice. I'll be real. I wouldn't want him starting for Chelsea. But growing up, I've always known Chelsea to have at least 3 strikers. I literally put a tweet out. I want Chelsea to have 3 strikers next season on their books, right? Look at Brighton, bro. They've got fucking Welbeck. They've got João Pedro. And they've got that Ruta guy on the books, you know? Right now, we're having to play in Cuckoo up top because Gil was not there. And then Jackson, obviously, the fitness. So when you look at the Prem again, there's only really Isak that I really want to be like, that's the guy that's going to elevate us.
João Pedro? I mean?
He's not going nowhere.
I can't look at João Pedro and think he's going to elevate us like that, Potts, man. I need a box striker. I want a guy that knows that box is his yard. He goes in there. He knows what everything is.
Isak's unobtainable. So who do you want?
They're going to get Delap, bro. That's what Chelsea going to
get. Delap, listen, I like Delap, but again, I want him as a second choice, if anything, right? I feel like with Delap,
that makes sense.
I like his ball striking. I like how good he is on the ball. I like his link up play. I like his mentality. But
so you want Osimhen as well.
Osimhen as well, right? But just to finish up on Delap, there's so many intangibles that he hasn't got yet. If we make Champions League football, he hasn't got no Champions League experience. He hasn't won anything yet, right? He's still quite young. He's got his experience in the Prem, cool, but he's still quite young. So for me, my preference is getting someone like an Osimhen, getting someone like a Gyökeres, and then you bring in a Delap as like a second choice. You know, you play him as well. Right, that's what I would like ideally, but I'm not gonna turn my nose up at Delap. I think he's a good player. There's just a few intangibles that I'm like, he hasn't got it. He hasn't got it yet. You know what I mean?
Are you willing to say that you were wrong about saying that Chelsea got a better squad than Arsenal and Liverpool?
Oh, here we go again, bro. Listen, I've already told you already, Potts here. Like your squad is meaty. Yeah, why am I gonna like? It's like shit versus shit right now. Like it's such a pointless thing to keep bringing up. Your squad played against Everton. You fucking rotated your squad and you couldn't do fuck all against Everton. Yeah, so let's not act as if this squad that you keep depending on are doing anything. They're not doing fuck all themselves. Yeah,
let's
end this.
That's ridiculous.
Shit. Like,
okay, my shit is literally competing in the Champions League, showing 2 title challenging seasons. Where your shit is finishing 12th, and where are you now?
12th.
Where are you now?
When you finish in 12th and 12th, we didn't finish 12th.
You finished 12 twice and you finished 6th, and then now you're where? 5th?
We didn't finish 12 twice. What are you talking about? We finished 12th once.
Okay, so when did you finish the other season? 6th,
we finished
right?
6th last season, yeah.
All right, so 12th, 6th, and then now you're what? 5th, 6th again?
Bro, I'm sorry. Listen, hold on.
Hold on.
Let me just stop it there.
You need to have some respect because it's
no,
like,
it's not about have some respect, bro.
You're talking like your team has shown any level of consistency to be even compared to Arsenal squad.
Bro, I sit here with Potts, right? And Potts cooks. He fucking cooked the window that you had, right? He cooks the fact that you had to play Marino up top and all of these things. Cool. Marino scored a couple goals recently, but even so, when you look at his all-round game, dead, bro, up there, right? So I don't understand this conversation. Oh, Arsenal have a better squad than Chelsea. It's a pointless conversation because
we do. Because the squad is not just what's on paper. The squad's not just what's on paper. On paper, you have more players that are supposed to be of higher quality, but we have more players that are consistent and perform at a higher level for a consistent period. Your team has never shown the level of consistency. Your team has never shown the defensive capabilities, the offensive capabilities, and the midfield capabilities that our team has shown for well over 3 seasons.
What midfield capabilities? What midfield capabilities? The main difference right now of your team and my team, right, is your defense. Like I keep telling you, bro.
Our midfield controls games where your midfield is run through like knife through butter.
What is this thing that people have as well, bro? Do you know how many times Caicedo wins the ball back for us in that midfield, bro?
No, but guess what?
This narrative needs to stop because when we was winning all those games, hold on, the best of Chelsea this season, right, is when we counter press. Yeah, when we had Lavia in the team, we had Caicedo counter pressing, Fofana in that high line, right? I don't know why guys act as if we're playing like last season. Last season, we used to get run through our midfield every week. Cool, fair enough. That's why our defensive record was shit. This season, we've got I'm seeing we've got the 4th best defense in the league. So why do you guys act as if our midfield?
Who has the best defense in the league?
But I never put better defense than you. I literally just told you.
Your defense is not only your center backs and your goalkeeper. It's also how you control the game from the midfield up. And what you need to realize is Arsenal.
Bro, we keep the ball a lot in most of our games. That's why most
you might have
Maresca.
One second.
Most of the time we keep the ball back.
1 second. At the top end of your midfield, you might have the same level of quality or similar players that you feel like are interchangeable. But overall squad, Arsenal squad has shown a higher level of consistency to be able to compete on many different levels. And they've shown a consistency in the defensive third, in the final third. And you know what? The attack has been poor, but even then, we scored 100 goals last season.
Can I ask you something?
You can't sit here and talk about your squad being so superior when you struggle to even get a goal in these games.
Can I ask you something? What was going on? What was going on in your team when Trossard was playing as a 10 or when Marino was in the 10? What was happening in those games?
I don't think you realized, Don. This season we've had.
Answer the question. What was happening?
We've had 22 injuries, and guys like Trossard, who's a bench player, has been relied upon week in, week out as a starter. Mikel Moreno, who's our 4th choice midfielder, has been playing as a striker and has more goals than majority of your attacking players.
You got answer the question. You're trying to prop up the squad.
When you have, I'm not done. Our defense. You spoke about our defense. Guess what? Our 5th choice defense is looking like one of the best defenses still, because who have we had out this season defensively? We have Gabriel out, we've had Ben White out, we've had Timber out, we've had Calafiori out, we've had Lewis-Skelly come out of nowhere. Don, from defense to midfield to attack, we are just much more consistent and superior team to Chelsea. You have good players.
You're delusional. You're delusional, bro. You're delusional. I've just asked you a question.
Why is there a 2-point gap between the two of us over 3 seasons?
I just asked you a question, bro. Right? And Potts, this is your fault for even bringing this up. I don't understand why we're still having this conversation. It is tired, bro. It's tired because both of our squads need serious work. So what we doing it, right?
No. You're right. I agree. Both of our squads need work.
I just asked you a question.
Ridiculous.
You literally just said we've had a lot of injuries, so we're having to depend on our squad players. That's exactly what's happened to Chelsea as well, right? We've had a lot of injuries and we're having to rely on squad players again, right?
Yeah, competing in the Champions League and competing.
I just asked you, but hold on. Why are you applying that logic to your team, but you can't apply the logic to my team?
Because you're in the Conference League.
What do you mean? Because we're in the Conference League, bro. What are you talking about?
You're in the Conference
League. What are you talking about? What's that got to do? What's that got to do with the fact? Hold on, bro. What's that got to do with the fact, that we've had Lavia injured most of the season, we've had Fofana injured again most of the season, and we're depending on our squad players again, just like what you said. What's that got to do with the Conference League,
Let me tell you what it has to do. You
What's that
don't
got
have
to do with the Conference League?
to face a higher level of competition twice a week. You can put
Don't we
out
play in the Prem like you, man? Don't we play in the Prem like you, man?
No, but you don't play in the Champions League like we do.
Don't we play in the Prem like you, man?
You don't have to put out the strongest team in both competitions.
You agree with that, though, Don? Don, you agree with that, right? You agree with that?
Hold on.
Your team this, your team that. I've seen Chelsea for majority of the season put out pub teams in the Conference League and batter them with rotation.
That's true, Don. That is true, Don.
If you rotated that same team, in the Premier League, you would get battered.
You didn't even register Cole Palmer, right? For the
hold on. I don't understand what's going on here. The bread and butter of the league, the bread and butter of your season is the Prem, right? Most of the weeks in the Prem, you want to see the same team. Yeah, there's only a few times when you want to be changing the team, when you're playing like Southampton's, the Ipswich, and whatnot. But most of the time, you want to be seeing the same 11, right? We have not been able to see our strongest 11 majority of this season because of injuries, right? I never said you made that point, not me. That's what I'm saying here. You made that point, but what you're trying to do, I'm trying to tell you that it's the same thing for us. You're telling me it's not the same because you play Conference League. And I'm like, bro, we both play in the Prem. We both play in the Prem. Hold on, bro. We both play in the Prem, and we've both had injuries in the Prem, and we've both had to play our squad players longer than usual in the Prem. But the difference with us and you, man, is majority of the season, you've had a fit defense, bro, right? You've had Gabriel and Saliba fit majority of the time. You've had Skelly broke through, who's been very good. And you've had Timber that's been able to stay fit most of the time. Right.
So let me ask you a question quickly, Don.
This season, hold on, Potts. This season,
right.
Once again, bro.
I've got a question after.
Oh, you got a question? Cool. Once again, you've got another draw, bro. Right? You've got another draw. Yeah. You couldn't create fuck all against Everton. That's 11 draws this season. The third most draws this season. Right? And this season, bro, the thing that separates us the most, like I keep telling you, is the goals conceded. We have conceded more goals than you, bro. In terms of goals scored, I think you've only scored 2 more goals than us right now. Like I said to you, offensively, our midfield has created way more chances than your midfield. Yeah. You talk about, our midfield gets run through. So why is Caicedo at the top of every defensive metric, bro? This guy wins the ball back the most out of anyone in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Caicedo's one player.
Caicedo's one player. Caicedo's there to be winning the ball back, and that's what he does. So let's stop this narrative. Let's stop this narrative, bro.
No, it's not a narrative. It's not a narrative.
It is a narrative because Caicedo, most of the time, I see Caicedo winning the ball back for us a lot.
If you actually see the amount of chances that are created against Chelsea, the amount of XG created against Chelsea, the amount of basketball games you get into back and forth,
into a lot of basketball games,
where you don't hold control of the game, is down to multiple things. One,
give me the examples. Give me the example of the basketball game. Give me an example of the basketball games. Tell me all of them.
I don't remember every single Chelsea game off the top of my head.
I do.
Okay, how about this? We played you recently, right? We played you recently. You had what kind of midfield did you have out there? You had a midfield.
Reece James, Caicedo, and Enzo.
Okay, that's not even a good comparison then, because Reece James playing out of position in that game. But overall,
Enzo playing out of position as well.
Overall, what?
We had Enzo playing out of position. Enzo played as a 10 that game. He's not a 10.
Enzo's been floating all over the place this season. So I think he's been having a good season in the 10 and also
he hasn't been playing as a 10, Miguel. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. I think he's been doing a good job since the turn of the new year, getting involved in the attacking third of the pitch. I think he's been doing really well, getting you guys assists, helping you guys out in the final third. But my point about the midfield specifically, I rate Chelsea's midfield players. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying your players are bad. I'm just saying consistently throughout the season, we've seen Arsenal's midfield to be able to control games, not only because of our defense, but also because of the capability of our midfield to hold on to the ball, retain possession, and also recycle. We have the quality to push
Egal, what you're saying, it sounds like you're... Hold on, Egal.
Quality to create. We have everything in our midfield. The thing is, you think because you feel like your players are superior to some of our players, that I'm saying your whole squad is bad. If your squad was so good, Don, why are you consistently below Arsenal for the last 3 years?
Egal. Let me answer your question first of all.
You said no. You started this argument. I just want to clarify this. I just want to clarify one thing, and I'm done. Wallahi.
Ask a question and then let him come back.
You started this conversation by saying both of our teams and our squad depth is shit. I am not saying my squad depth is shit. I'm saying my squad depth is good enough to compete for the league and to maybe challenge to try to win it. I think your team's ceiling is top 4, not a challenge for the league. I think you're maybe 3-4 players of severe quality to reach our level.
Egal. Personally, for me, yeah, bro, it honestly sounds like you're reading from a script. And it always happens to be gooners that say this, yeah? You come here, I'm seeing people in the chat as well right now, right? I'm pretty sure Chelsea have got the 5th best defense in the league right now, right? The way you're describing our midfield right now is how we were playing last season. Last season, our midfield was literally a polo. We had nothing in the middle because Poch was making guys playing all this space, Gallagher pressing by himself, Caicedo in an island by himself, Enzo fucking left wing sometimes, right? This season, yeah, most Chelsea fans hate the way we play because we keep the ball and it's like, yo, it's slow, methodical football. Most of the time, we control games. We keep possession of the ball, right? And like I said to you, defensively, Caicedo has been fantastic the way he breaks up play. So I don't get this narrative of, oh, Chelsea's midfield gets run through. Okay, cool. You might watch certain games where we're attacking and both our attacking midfielders are in attacking positions, yeah? On the transition, of course, teams are going to run through your midfield, right? Go remind yourself of the goal. Go remind yourself of the goal that West Ham scored against you, right?
They went through the wing. They went through the wing.
Bro, they went through the midfield initially, and then they went through Wan-Bissaka. Then it went to Wan-Bissaka. It went to Wan-Bissaka, right? And the reason why they ended up scoring that goal was because of the transition. Yeah, it happens to every single team. Go watch Man City, bro. Right? Most of the time, Man City on the transition. Hold on, bro. Most of the time on the transition, Man City teams are running through them. But guess what? They've got Rodri. Rodri breaks it up, right? If you're an attacking team and you put most of your midfielders in offensive positions, of course, on the transition, you're susceptible to fucking counter attacks. It is what it is, bro. It's the risk that you take, right? I don't know why people think, oh, if you don't lose the ball up there, teams are going to run through you. That's why you've got a DM there.
Let me ask a question then, Don. Let me ask a question then, right? Let me ask a question because I don't want to come to this Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool squad depth thing, right? As you say, it's a silly question. I didn't think Igal was going to come in like that, but, you know, Igal does what Igal does, right? But what I'll say is this. If you truly believe that if Chelsea had all of their players fit this season and Arsenal had all of their players fit, do you think Chelsea would have mounted a title challenge of all of your players fit alongside Arsenal? Because Arsenal fans tell me we haven't been able to because we've had injuries. Chelsea have likewise had injuries to Lavia, Fofana, we know the names, right? Do you think you're in a position to title challenge this season? Because at Christmas time, you beat Fulham, you beat Everton, you beat Ipswich, you're going to title race. You lost all of those. Well, I didn't think you lost all of them, but you dropped points in those 3, right? So do you think with the players that you've got fit, you could have actually mounted a title challenge this season if everyone stays fit?
Bro, I think we could have competed for a lot longer than what we did. You know what I mean? I think if Jackson picked up his fucking finishing boots at that period of time, I think we could have won a lot more games, right? But that's where you got to look at the gaps in the team. We haven't got a striker. We have a striker over that period. Regardless of what people think of our defense, we win more games, right? Guys don't understand how key guys like Lavia and Fofana are for us. You talk about our defense. These guys help us defensively. Most of the season, we've had Chalobah and fucking Tosin and these guys. I don't want to be seeing these guys every week. Same way Igal doesn't want to be seeing most of the squad players he's been seeing. I don't want to be seeing these guys all the time. You know what I mean, right? The quality this league, bro, has gone down. I don't know why people are acting as if we're up against Prime, Pep and Klopp, yeah? Everyone up there right now is to me, to you, to me, to you, yeah? So we win more games over that period. We're a lot closer to you, man. You're only what? How many points ahead of us are you? Is it 7 or 8?
10
8
now? 8 now?
10.
I don't know.
I think it's 9. 9 points, right? 9 points. You know what I mean? So, like, a few of those wins over that period, we're like, what, maybe 3 points behind you, 2 points
but then
behind
we can say the same about the title race. A few more wins and we'd be in the title race. That, do you know what I mean? It works for both clubs.
Whatever makes you feel better.
It works for both clubs. But you're asking me what's happened. The situation this season is that Chelsea haven't been clinical once again. Maresca started to fuck about once again, right? And again, we've had injuries to key players once again. So these are things that we need to rectify in the summer.
The honest truth, the gap between Arsenal and Liverpool is this close. The gap between Chelsea and Arsenal is not that far different at this point. But one thing I will say to you, the reason why I think Arsenal's squad is better and Arsenal is better overall is because we've shown that consistency. Chelsea haven't shown that level of consistency for competing in the Champions League, competing in the league. And that's my main point. For you to compare us...
It tends to hurt a lot of people. What people
compare us to, we would have to be competing in the same competition, and I have to see the same level of stress going against us. Because Conference League, the reason why I mention it is because that allows you to relieve a lot of stress.
Well, I get that. I do get that point.
No, but Igal, what people like to do when they try to bring up this take, right? they like to ignore the fact that going into the summer, I said Arsenal and Liverpool have a better 11 than Chelsea, right? Because number one, you've already got a stable defense. You've already got a team that's been playing together for a minute, right? You've already got players that have been there, done it in terms of the title race. I said this, bro. But in terms of the depth, maybe I should have been more specific. I said our depth in comparison to Arsenal's is better. And I said the same thing about Liverpool, bro. I said our depth, what I'm looking at on the bench is better than both of these teams, right? Start of the season, bro, you're seeing fucking guys like Sterling and all these guys on the bench. Don't forget, when we was killing teams at the beginning, most rivals, in fact, I'll listen to all your shows. Most of you lot are like, oh, Chelsea can bring Neto off the bench. Chelsea can bring Enzo off the bench. Chelsea can bring Nkunku off the bench. Chelsea can bring this guy off the bench, Felix, right? Everyone at the start of the season was loving our bench. But right now, unfortunately, bro, it's been weakened. In January, we let go of Felix. We let go of Vega, right? You're seeing Nkunku right now being played out of position, stinking out the gaff, yeah? So I've never once said Chelsea have a better 11 than Arsenal right now. I've always said Arsenal have a better 11, so do Liverpool. I specifically spoke about the depth. That's what I specifically spoke about, the bench. That's what I said, bro.
Let me ask, because Rich, you've been sitting waiting patiently as a Palace fan, bro. You're impartial on this. What are you telling me about Chelsea and Arsenal quickly? Because we'll come into the Arsenal game next, but I just want to ask you, because as a Palace fan, obviously you're flying and we're going to talk about Palace, trust me, bro. But when I look at it, I don't disagree with Don that Chelsea and Arsenal are miles apart. I do feel like we do have better players than them, and I think that's why we're finishing above them at the moment. I don't particularly think Arsenal have been great. I think Chelsea have been pretty poor as well. Who do you think's in the better position going into next season, Arsenal or Chelsea, Rich?
Ooh. It's weird because I think Chelsea's squad has a bit more to it if they were to stay fit. I think Arsenal's struggling with the fact that they don't have a gunman up front. That's big, you know. Defensively, I think Arsenal are sound. Chelsea could be better. Their treatment of Chalobah was a bit awkward. You know, obviously loaning him to us and then demanding he comes back to only bench him and stuff. And I think he's been doing all right for them lately. It's a weird one with both clubs. Arsenal will obviously be disappointed that they haven't pushed on this season, especially with the drop-off of Man City. Whereas Chelsea started off so well, you know, and then things kind of went to pot. I don't know if it's a case, and obviously don't know better than I would, obviously, whether Chelsea got found out or if it was fatigue, injuries, whatever it may be. But going to next season, if Arsenal don't address their striking issues, I think Chelsea will end up overtaking the next season as well.
Chelsea have got to get their strike force sorted as well. Do you know what I mean? I feel like actually Chelsea and Arsenal similarly in positions, other than the goalkeeper. I think that you need a centre back. Well, I think you need a centre back pairing. I know you guys love on Colwell, and I hope you keep him at the back, but I don't think he's good enough. Obviously, up top, Jackson, I think he's a backup striker. I think if you went and got an Osimhen, that's what you need. I think if you want to get the left winger, Arsenal are similar. We need to go and get Gyökeres. We need to go and get a Lookman or a Nico Williams. Need to go and sort our balance in midfield out, which is saying I think Chelsea have got ahead of us when everyone's fit, of course, because Lavia can't stay fit. I think him and Fofana, they might be done out here, man. I ain't seen enough of them for 2 years now. Then you've got the likes of the goalkeeper situation at Chelsea. So I don't disagree with Dom that they're miles behind us. What I will say is I think Arsenal are definitely in front going into this summer. I expect Arsenal to finish above Chelsea. And if Chelsea finish above Arsenal next season, I think it's done for Arteta, if I'm honest. I
mean, you had that conversation on my channel, Potts. I said, I think Arsenal are closer to winning the league than Chelsea. But what I said was, I think we're very close to competing, is what I said. Whether we're going to win it, there's so many intangibles that go into it, bro. Like, you know, we've still got a young team that haven't been there, done it. There's pressure. Maresca's still a young manager as well. People need to realize this. He's barely got any experience. I need to see how he is in those situations. Because so far, bro, he brought this mentality, or this loser mentality of running away. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I honestly feel like next season, even this season, we could have competed if we were serious. Next season, we can definitely compete. We can definitely compete. Bro.
I think there's 4 or 5 that can compete next season. Real talk. If they had the right summer, I really do. I think it could be a close one, man. But Igal, I know you don't have long, so I'm going to ask you quickly. Were Arsenal robbed yesterday for you?
Yeah, I definitely thought that was never a penalty. I don't know if you guys seen it, but how is that given as a penalty? But today, Liverpool have 2 penalty shouts in the span of the same second. Worse contact than what Lewis-Skelly did to the guy, Jack Harrison, and they didn't even give it. I think it's ridiculous. I think to give that penalty, then every single friggin' foul leading up to the ball is a penalty. If you guys didn't see, it's a 50-50 challenge where the two of them are going in for it, and then Jack Harrison actually brings down Miles Lewis-Skelly to the point where he sat on his ass, jumps into the air and falls, and they say, oh, there's contact leading into the box that led to him not being able to shoot. So they gave us a penalty, but from there, I feel like we should have done more to win the game from there. But overall, let's be honest, that was not a deserved draw. They didn't do anything. Everton did not offer anything the whole game. They got gifted a penalty from the referees, and from there, we dropped points. We could have won it. We should have won it. But hey, I think the poor refereeing.
What did you really offer though? Because even with that penalty, you still had more than enough time to come back and win the game, right? You talk about the squad that you've got. You talk about the great Declan Rice. Why am I seeing man trying to lob the ball into the fucking box? Let man know he's not an artist. Yeah, he's not that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tell man full back and let guys like Odegaard do that, because he can't do that, blood. I used to watch this guy Upton Park as a centre back. He needs to remember that, bro. You know what I mean? So what did you do for 40 minutes in that game after the penalty? What did your great midfield do? You created fuck all, bruv. Right? And this is what I'm talking about with Arsenal fans. You might like to overrate your team too much. Yeah? You've got problems as well. You've got serious problems as well, bruv.
Nobody said we're perfect. We're just saying we're superior to your team, which you don't understand.
That's fine though, but the thing is, I can sleep at night because over this period where you've been superior, you've won fuck all. Yeah, don't let me cook you as well the way I cooked Saad the other week.
One second. I always find this hilarious because you keep comparing yourself to us because you're looking up to us. That's what
I never compared myself to you. You did. Pots asked the question about our team on our squad.
You started this conversation.
No, I didn't. Pots did.
No, Potts. Did you at one point mention comparing the squads?
No, I didn't.
No, I asked if Don thought that he wanted to go back on the fact that he thought Chelsea was better than Arsenal in terms of a squad, and Liverpool, he said as well.
Yeah, I should have been clearer. I said depth. You know what it is? I made a mistake because I should have said depth at the time, right? When I say squad, people move mad. People move mad erratic, but they're not going to add the context of I said the 11s are better, right? But anyway, carry on, Nigal. Carry on.
Did you think it was a penalty, Don? Did you think it was a penalty?
Do you know what? Yeah, like for me personally, Potts. Yeah, I honestly feel like it could have gone either way. It was a soft pen. I'll be so real. I thought it was a bit of a 50-50 before Harrison went down. I think he bought it, to be honest with you, right? But at the same time, bro, Skelly goes down. He clips him. If that was to happen to Saka falls, you're all screaming penalty. But if it doesn't get given, I'm not looking at it and shouting my head off and saying, oh my God, that's shocking. It's more just like, okay, one ref would give it, another ref might not give it. It's one of them ones, isn't it, where it's just, it could have gone both ways. You know, I don't think it was a shocking decision. I thought it was a foul, innit, but a soft one. I'll be real.
Come on, bro.
Miguel, I know
why is it always Arsenal that has these controversial decisions on a real?
I don't know, bro. It's just your luck. It's just your luck.
On the real. How many times this season have you guys seen controversial decisions happening to Arsenal? Is it a coincidence? Because I don't see the same level of controversy with Crystal Palace, with Rich. I've seen 2 questionable decisions happen to Chelsea all Premier League season.
There's been some mad ones, bro. Like when Delap got a penalty when we played them, that was not a penalty, bro. Right?
No, I'm talking about that.
There was a game against Everton. Hold on, let me just give you a few examples because you think it's just you. There was a game against Everton. Pickford literally slide tackles Gusto the way he fucking broke Van Dijk's knee, yeah, but didn't get a penalty that game, bro. Right? So this season there's some crazy decisions where I'm like, yo, how the hell is that not given? Or how's that been given? It's not just you, man. That's what it is about you lot. Why do you lot make this all about you? Like, it's not all about you.
I ask you a question because from my perspective, I see Arsenal face so many ridiculous decisions on a weekly basis. I've seen numerous red card challenges, 2 penalties that were questionable. And then today I watched Liverpool and I'm seeing Van Dijk elbowing people in the face, barging into people, goalkeepers taking out attackers and no penalties. And I'm just like, yo, we're not being refereed the same.
You think it was a penalty? I just think it was a penalty, Rich. MLS.
No, it was soft. It was soft, in my opinion. But either way, just on your point regarding Palace not getting dodgy decisions, we heard Eze have a free kick against Brentford disallowed because the referee decided to blow his whistle for nothing. We've had 2, was it a penalty given against Brentford, which was never a penalty. Like, it happens to everyone, to be honest. You know, the referee in this league is crap, regardless. So
that's why I always look at my team. I always look at my team. It's annoying, and you know, I never blame unless it's a mad decision where it's like, yo, we clearly lost that game because of that, right? I always look at it and say, bro, everyone gets done. You just need to make sure that in that game you don't allow that decision to
affect the game.
To affect the game. Yeah. Especially when you've still got enough time to do something. Like, cool, fair enough. The lap penalty wasn't a pen when we played them away, right? But we still had more than enough time in that game to win that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even when you look at like our game against Brighton yesterday, granted, when you look in the grander scheme of things, both Gahey and Nketiah's second challenges could have been straight reds, but both their first challenges weren't yellow cards. You know, and this is what happens in the league. Like, when you look at it closely, Eddie got clipped. The unfortunate thing is he decided to take a step, then go down. Hence why I can see why the ref booked him. You know, his second challenge was stupid. You know, same with Gay. Wins the ball the first challenge, terrible challenge second one and stuff. So the scales tip and balance, you know, and obviously there's no consistency with the refereeing in this league. Everything's down to interpretation. What can you do about it? You've just got to go out there and win your games.
Yeah, I think the MLS one was harsh. It's soft. When it actually in real time on the watch along, I said, yeah, I think that's the penalty. I think they've both gone for it. They're both holding on, and I think he's lost his man, and he's got to do one of two things. He's got to let him go, or he's got to, you know, sort of hold it. Look, I don't think Jack Harrison's calling for it. He gets straight up and tries to play on. So it's not like everyone's going, penalty. I don't think it'd be a disgrace if they said no. I don't think it'd be a disgrace if they said yes. But I think it's soft, man. It's soft as shit. Let's just be real.
It is, man. Let's be real though, Potts, man. If that happened to Saka, right, there'll be fucking think pieces if it didn't be given as a penalty, bro. You know what I mean?
Let's be real,
but I'm telling you, if that was my player that got fouled like that, I want him to go down. Right, it's soft, but give the ref a decision to make. And unfortunately for you, man, that decision was a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think we did anywhere near enough to see the game out to get 3 points in that game. I thought there was missed chances by Odegaard, who fluffed his lines. Marino had a good chance, fluffed his lines. Trossard should have got a couple of goals. Sterling actually played all right in the first game, and then him and Ethan were hooked off. And when we put Saka and Martinelli on, I actually thought we looked a bit worse. If I'm honest with you, I don't think we created anything. And if I'm honest with you, I just feel like there's a lot of focus on Tuesday night, and that's where I wanted to segue to quickly before I come to you, Rich, because a lot of people are giving Arsenal no chance in these next 2 legs, Don. Real Madrid, it's going to be hard, bro. What are you telling me? How do you see these 2 legs going, mate?
Bro, do you know what? Yeah, like for me, I've always said like I think Real Madrid are gonna beat Arsenal. I didn't think it was gonna be like a smoking like what Bayern Munich or Barcelona used to do to you guys, because defensively, again, you've got the best pairing in Europe. But Gabriel going down now, Potts, that changes everything for me, bro. You know what I mean? Like when I'm looking at the big occasion so far, Saliba last season against Bayern Munich, bro, he crumbled. You know what I'm saying, right? Against Newcastle as well, bro. My man was playing like Marvin Humes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then now you've got Gabriel, who's been big bro since the World Cup. He's been fantastic, right? He's been, and again, I take it back, people. No one I said I'll bring Saliba instead of Gabriel. Fuck that. I'll bring both of them. You know what I'm trying to say? I'll bring both of them. This is the centre back that I really, really like. Because when he first came, he was a bit of a bozo, innit? You always had a bozo moment in him. But the way he's elevated, bro, I'll probably even call him world class now. You know what I mean? So missing him is going to be a massive, massive blow for Arsenal. Kivior had a good game against Everton. He got man of the match, but he's not Gabriel, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, Mbappe running at him and Rodrigo, you know, Vinny, all of these guys. I just see you lot conceding more goals because now you're actually missing a big threat in both boxes. Because, you know, on set pieces, Gabriel is someone who's fantastic in the air. You know, I used to have someone like him in the Cahill. I used to have someone like him in the JT. So I can always appreciate when centre-backs are adding goals to the team, you know, and you miss that with him not there, you know, and his leadership as well. So right now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, nah, man, I think Madrid will probably beat you lot at the Emirates now. And yeah, they'll beat you on the Bernabeu, I reckon. But I don't think it's going to be a match. Sociedad
and Valencia, they lost, man. Does that change anything? They're not playing well domestically. A lot of Real Madrid fans have spoken and said, I'm nervous about this one. Arsenal got nothing to lose. It's pressure on us. We're expected to go through. Arsenal can just sit back and go, they lost, surprise. Does that change anything for you at all, Rich?
Nah, you know what? I think Arsenal need to look at Atletico Madrid and just take their blueprint for these 2 legs, because Real Madrid do struggle against kind of like that low block, and they're not good defending the counter attack either. You know, But yeah, what Don said was spot on. Like Gabriel, I think it's turned the tide completely. You know, where it's given you yourself a chance. I'm not saying it's impossible. This is cup football. But my gosh, losing Gabriel is a big loss. A massive loss. So,
you know the difference is as well, Rich. Like, even though Madrid haven't been playing the most like fluid football, they've got players that have moments in them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at Arsenal right now, Potts. To be fair to Odegaard, last season, second half of the season, Champions League, he showed up for you, man. Right? I remember the assist that he got against Porto. You man nearly got knocked out for Trossard's goal. He turned up. If I remember correctly, I think he played well against Bayern as well. But right now, like, I'm looking at Vinny, he can turn up. Jude's got a moment in him. Rodrigo's got a moment in him. Even Valverde, you know what I'm saying? So there's so many more players where it's like, cool, they're not playing great, but it is knockout football. Sometimes the champs, it's just a moment of brilliance where it's like, yo, remember that game when Arsenal lost against Madrid? They were on top of them, but then all of a sudden, 5 minutes of mayhem, they've won the game again. Yeah, Madrid, I'm telling you, bro, these guys, they've got some curse. That's why I was even happy when we won our second Champions League. We beat them on our way there. That was a massive achievement for the club. Right? But right now, I just don't see it, man. With your attack right now, not really firing much. You know, your midfield, like I said, for me is very stale. Defensively, no Gabriel. I just don't see you lot overcoming Madrid. I'll be real, man.
Nah, I'm not confident. I said we might hold out a 1-1 before the Gabriel injury. With Saka and Gabriel, I actually fancy us to actually get something from the Emirates game. I don't think we're going through over 2 legs, but I certainly don't think we're going to win now. I actually predicted 2-1 to Real Madrid in the first leg, and the second leg, I just don't see us winning at the Bernabeu. Personally, we can't handle the pressure against United and Newcastle, so in the cup. So I don't know how we're going to do that against Real Madrid personally. But look, miracles can happen. We roll the dice and we go for it, mate. Do you know what I mean? So let's see what happens there. With it, big up to Deji in the house. Big up to you, my bro. And look, man, it's one of those. Arsenal have got to put all their attention on Tuesday, and I hope that Ben White and Timber and all these guys are fit, because we're going to need them 100%. And Ben White's a little bit of a question mark over his full fitness at the moment. Timber's just come back, and if I'm honest with you, wow, like, this guy has just been phenomenal this season. I honestly believe he's one of the best right backs in the league. I just think the guys, I'm running out of superlatives for him, man.
I think Timber's good defensively, but offensively, he's not the best, man. Like, I think when I look at his crosses, it reminds me of Gusto. He gets in the final thirds. I think Ben White's better in the final third, to be honest. I think Timber's the better player, but in the final third,
Ben White's good overlapping, but Timber as a footballer is just ridiculously good, man. Like, he can do stuff down forward, but defensively he's better. Obviously, I just think the guy's been so good for us, man. It's crazy. Like, I've been so impressed. For someone to come back from an ACL and do that as many games as he's played consistently as well, one of our best. I think he's been unreal, man. I think he's a quality player.
How would you want to line up, Potts, then? Would you want to line up with Timber at centre back and then White at right back?
Yeah, I would. And then I'd have Saliba as a left-sided centre-back where he plays for France, and then obviously Lewis-Skelly left, and then Timber and White. That's what I would do. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to play Saliba and Kivior as a centre-back pairing, and then I think he's going to play Timber right and Lewis-Skelly left. I think Ben White might not. I mean, look, Ben White looked okay against Everton. He made a couple of mistakes. People said he was shocking. I don't think he was shocking. He made a couple of bad errors, to be fair to him, but that's rusty. He's dusting off the cobwebs still. But I do feel like if we played Kivior, as much as he got player of the match yesterday, I don't think anybody really deserved player of the match. I thought it was a dusty game. So I'm not going to be like, yeah, he got player of the match against Everton. Let's line him up against Mbappe, Rodrigo and Vinny. Like, come on, man. It's a bit different to playing Everton to playing Real Madrid. So for me, that's what I would do. But I think Arteta's going to do that. I think he's going to play Marino. I think Partey, Rice, Odegaard in midfield. You know my thoughts on the midfield, Don. I don't like Rice in this 8 role at all. I think he was awful yesterday, in fact. And then, we got to try and do what we can with Saka and Martinelli and pray that they're going to be able to do something. We've got to basically beat Real Madrid 2-0 to have any chance of going through the tie in the first leg, that is. And I don't see that happening, bro. So that's
you're asking for a lot. You're asking for a lot from Saka as well. As much as you know, he's had a good season in the Prem. When it comes to the knockout games in the Champs so far, bro, I remember against Porto, that fullback locked him up. You know what I mean? Locked him up. Against Bayern, he scored the goal.
The good thing is, though, they've got no left back, really. Mendy's not fit enough, and they've got that Garcia guy. They might have to play Camavinga there. So Saka could have a good game. Should have a good game.
Camavinga is fucking solid, bro. I'm showing you. He's
Oh,
played
he's
left.
quality. He's quality.
He's played there a lot of
And
times.
they played Valverde right back as well a couple of times.
Valverde right back, Camavinga left back. It might be that. It might be that. But let's see.
Nah,
Valverde for me is one of the best players.
The only thing I would say is that, look, I kind of agree with you, Potts. I mean, on the face of it, you know, your team is looking extremely dusty. But one thing that I would say that would lift a lot of the your fans is that, you know, Ben White can defend. Shiver Me Timbers is actually a good defender. It's a shame you haven't got Gabriel, but Kivior seems to be doing okay. And I can't lie to you, bro. I've been watching Madrid the last couple of games, and they've been looking dustier than Tottenham. A lot of people say that's what Madrid do. They deliberately lose the kind of league games and then they'll turn up in the Champions League. But I think that's very dangerous football. And I think Arsenal seem to be, without a striker, seem to be looking all right, weirdly. You know what I mean? You could have won against Everton on the weekend. Look, I don't shake my bum for your club, and I never will. But I'm not as confident as I was a couple of weeks ago. I have to say that. I'm not as confident of the Madrid.
Because of how they're playing, or
because of how they're playing, but also you guys are looking better. You looked a bit disjointed before. You know, when Mourinho first got into the striker position, I thought, oh, this is laughable. I mean, these guys look like a bunch of clowns. But somehow, some way, Arteta's got you guys playing all right football, to be honest. If we were playing all right and not getting results, I would be positive about Ange. But we look pretty crap, and the performances show and the results show. You guys don't look so bad, whereas Madrid, they've been off. And I just don't see how they turn it on against a strong Arsenal defense. And also you need Raya to have a weldy, and Raya's a madman. I can see him having a weldy this week as well.
Bro, we need him to. We need to be everything perfect, and any chance of going through, my God, it needs to be perfection, man. But look, let's move to Palace because we're short for time. Let me just quickly ask you, Rich, because I've got to be honest. Do you now roll the dice for a push for Europe? Real question. Or do you roll the dice for a FA Cup win? Because I've been impressed with every department of Palace since the new year. I think Mateta is balling out. You've got Eze, who now particularly looks very, very good, that he's upped his game. I'm a massive fan of this Adam Water brother. I think he looks unbelievable. I think Maxence Lacroix has been underrated and not really spoken about enough. I think his partnership with Gare, he's been very, very good. Daniel Munoz is up and down like a blue-ass fly. He's absolutely outstanding. I've been very impressed, mate. Very, very impressed. So do you roll the dice for a push for Europe, or do you go for the cup, bro? What are you telling me?
Everything for the cup. Everything for the cup. I mean, even to the fact that we've been discussing it amongst the Palace fan base, like we've got you on the Wednesday before we play Villa on the Saturday. Just throw the youth. Throw the youth there. Our likelihood of going to the Emirates winning is what 10%? You know? And on a Wednesday night, right before probably the biggest game of the season, we've got to put everything in that game against Villa at Wembley. So, yeah, definitely 100% everything on the cup. You know,
Hey.
I've been saying that it's crazy.
You
like,
got a chance, man. Villa are a good side, but you got a chance. Why you're playing?
No, we do. We do have a chance. We have to be very sensible. Bigger picture of obviously Wembley. So we're not going to want to go all guns blazing and have the likes of Marcus Rashford and Asensio having all that space in behind. You like Morgan Rogers, who's had a very, very good season. I think we should just stick to what we've been doing, playing counter-attacking football, which has worked for us, you know, especially in 2025. But more importantly, we need to get Oliver Glasner to sign a new deal ASAP.
He's been on.
These RB Leipzig rumors are getting annoying, you know, and they're not stopping.
Do you think he would though, Rich? Do you think he's quite happy there? Like, would he go to Leipzig?
He's managed in the Bundesliga before. They probably could offer him a bit more money and potentially European football in the future. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's happy here, but listen, when bigger things clubs come calling, you get tempted sometimes.
Rich, can I ask you a question? Was it legit at the beginning of the season that Palace fans wanted Glasner out? Because I was shocked when
there were a few, and shame on them. To be honest, there were a few.
Crazy.
I think I was talking to Potts on one stream, and I think it got to the stage where, like, I think some Palace fans are giving them to the Wolves game to turn it around. Otherwise, they would have wanted him gone. You know, I think even reports like Ed Aarons was saying, yeah, he could get sacked. I'm thinking, sack him for what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What he's done for our club's unbelievable, to be honest. So long may it continue.
I think he's legit. I just want to beat him up, and I would hijack him at Spurs if we were a big club. I think you got to think he lost Elise, and look what Elise is doing for Bayern Munich. You got to think he came from Frankfurt, won the Europa League with Frankfurt, and I'm not surprised when we came to your gaff and lost. I keep talking about it. Eze was doing kick-ups on the edge of our box. You made light work of Tottenham Hotspur that day. And I've been having sleepless nights since, and that's why I can't give Postecoglou. I have to stick it on Postecoglou's neck. If Glasner can turn around your club and your players, who on paper will not be touching Tottenham Hotspur, then how can I be putting up with the level of rubbish that Postecoglou is breathing at my club with his dragon breath? I can't. I'm not going to have it, and I'm not going to take it. But I just want to say big up to Glasner and what he's doing at your club. And if the Crystal Palace fans don't appreciate the brother, I will happily take Glasner.
No. Leave our gaffer alone. But you're right, Deji. Like, look, we no winning 8 before obviously we played you guys, and now remember, don't forget the likes of Fulham, Bournemouth, Brighton, Villa. Everyone's been raving about them. Let's put this in perspective. We're 7 points behind 6th. Granted, our running is stupid. Like, we've got mad games. We've got like Man City, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest.
You can bad them up. You can bad them up, though. We've
got a crazy running. But we're 7 points off 6th. I'm not saying that we're going to get there. Not at all. But considering where we started and where we are now, Oliver Glasner, you're an absolute genius. You know, hurry up, sign a new contract, please. Get this sorted, Parish, please. Because if he goes, I don't know where we'll be. Honestly, he's been incredible.
He has been. And, I think what people are going to now say, Rich, which is very frustrating if you're a club like Palace, if people are going to go, right, Mark Gea, he's going, Maxence Lacroix's off, Adam Wharton's going to be going, Eze's going to be going, you've got no Mateta no more. And it's frustrating, I get it. And I've got to be real.
We're used to it. It happens every season, to be fair.
Your recruitment is so good, man. It's been class. Like, let's be real. Yeah. Championship, Elise, Eze, Adam Wharton, the guy from Millwall, I can't say his name. Is it S?
Yeah,
whatever his name is. These guys, man, even Mateta, no one really heard about Mateta. You've got Maxence Lacroix, I think he was Wolfsburg. That's a brilliant signing.
Munoz as well.
Munoz
got signed for
I know.
€8 million.
Enzo
£1 million.
Enzo swap. Enzo in Paris season. I can't lie, Rich, but he's looked very good.
I would swap the whole Palace team for the Spurs team.
Facts.
Straight.
It won't look like this with Ange, though. It won't look like this with Ange.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would take that whole Palace team.
Yeah. And obviously, before we conceded against Southampton, I think we hadn't conceded an away goal in like 12 hours.
Yeah, that was mad. You lost to them, man. That was a mad game. That one.
No, we drew. We drew.
Oh, you know what I mean. Sorry, you dropped points there, but
it felt like a defeat.
I bet it did, man. I bet it did. They got relegated.
The emotional high that we were on, obviously making this FA Cup semi-final. Like Glasner, in my opinion, that's the first mistake I think he's made. He should have rotated a bit.
Rich, what made you support Palace, man? What made you support Palace, bro?
So I grew up in Brixton, which isn't like it's like just pretty much down the road from Sellers Park, and I went to like a football camp over the summer, and they were handing out free tickets. This was at the time we were sharing the ground with Wimbledon, and so that was my like real first experience of a football match is Palace, and stop by it.
I remember them days, man. They used to hand out tickets for West Ham as well back in the day, bro. But by then I was a Chelsea fan already. I might have been a hammer like Lewis, bro.
I grew up watching football, and my first player I fell in love with is Ian Wright, and he was actually playing for Palace. So I could have been a Palace fan, So yeah, I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for Palace. I like talking to Rich more than I do D though, because D does my head in. So it's where it is. But I
leave my guy D, man.
Shout out to D, man. I love D. He's on holiday. But if you do win it, I'll be happy for you, Rich. I just have to ignore D and mute him a bit. Do you know what I mean? But fair play to you if you win that cup, man. Let me tell you that. Let me close on Spurs very quickly because Deji, I know you're still in the mud. You did win today. You relegated Southampton, and I didn't see the game, but I imagine you were fairly pleased with the outcome. Brendan Johnson with another couple of goals. Ange Postecoglou is losing his mind, brother. Every time I listen to this guy, I see him against Chelsea, which was a dusty game from both teams, in my opinion, and he's losing his mind, saying that he wasn't cupping his ear for the crowd when he was basically giving it to all the Tottenham fans. I think this relationship is done, bruv, with your fan base.
I think even if he won the Europa League now, it's clear that the Tottenham fan base don't like him and he don't like us, and he should get out. When we had the madness going on with Conte was fourth. This waste man is in 16th or was in 16th before today's game, and he wants to shake his bum. The sooner he leaves my club, the better. But I'm not going to lie to you. Today, bro, was a dead rubber. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Southampton's picked up 10 points this season. And I think I think my grassroots team that has Don playing on the right wing would bad up this Southampton team. That is the truth. It would bad this Southampton team up. So we can take nothing from that game. The fact that we won 3-1, there were large spells of that game that was dusty. Brennan Johnson got a brace, but I can tell you now, if that is the Tottenham team that is going to turn up on Thursday, then punch me in the face real quick, because that team is not good enough to do anything. And just let me be clear. This manager is shaking his bum for beating Southampton. He's got no standards. The worst team in Premier League history. And he wants me to believe that on Thursday we could get a result against Frankfurt. Mate, if pigs could fly and if the aliens want to come down on Thursday...
Are you going out? Yeah, you're going out.
Bro, look. I think if Palace was playing Frankfurt, they could do something. Glasner knows the players well, and them, man, they're just hench. My team, we didn't get a single shot on goal away to AZ. And I went to the home game against AZ, and it was rubbish. I watched the same type of performance today. We were crap today, bro, 1-3-1. We didn't source, we didn't do domination in the location. We just won. Bro, look, if Tottenham win the Europa League, I would be shameless and I will enjoy every minute of it. But I think Ange and his reign at Tottenham is done. Win, lose or draw, he's finished. It's unacceptable for a manager of his ilk to lie to us. But to now have to try and think you can banter the fan base when you've taken 16 L's this season. We should be just above the relegation. Fourth most defeats in the Premier League this season. And he's getting vexed as to why we're booing him. Like, make that make sense. Like, anyone got booed with those kind of performances. Yeah.
Just on that quickly, Derge. Like, Levy sacked Mourinho just before a cup final. Why is he stuck with Ange?
Because there was a lot of hoo-ha and fanfare from the rival fans. Every rival fan that I know said, Mourinho's a winner. If you had just left him, you would have won a trophy against City. The truth of the matter is, my bro, we weren't going to win. We were moving very, very dusty under Mourinho. But, people have blagged this narrative. So he has to, rightly so. Ange said he wins in his second season. Well, let's see. He's got one more cup left, which is the quarterfinals of the Europa League. We will see if he always wins in his second season or whether he was just chatting rubbish. And I think we find out on Thursday. But as for me, I've lost faith in him. And he's made our players look average. If you look at Glasner, what he's done with your team, if you look at Marco Silva, what he's done with the likes of Iwobi, and if you look at Iriola, what he's done with the likes of Kluivert, and then look at Udogie, who I was touting as Ashley Cole 2.0. Udogie doesn't get into Southampton's team at the moment with him, the way that he's playing. This Brennan Johnson, I know he got a brace, crikey. He wouldn't be able to get back into Nottingham Forest. I think they're breathing a sigh of relief. And so we are in a hot mess right now. And the sooner he leaves, the better.
I agree. I don't think you're going anywhere with Ange anytime soon. I do think your squad needs lifting. I don't think you've got a bad 11 when everyone's fit, similarly to Chelsea and to Arsenal, to be fair. But you're going to need some serious money spent again. And if I'm honest with you, I think you need to go and get a manager that's actually going to be able to get some coaching into this side. Because Ange Postecoglou's got one way or the highway. Pochettino was obviously the project manager that you all loved. Nuno actually had a system but wasn't allowed to try and play it because he was basically bad results, so he left. Conte and Mourinho were win-now managers without a win-now team. Tottenham have tried everything under Daniel Levy and it hasn't worked. So for me, I just feel like the problem is above the manager. However, when you look at what Ange is doing, it's embarrassing. Tottenham should not be 14th with that side, just like Manchester United shouldn't be down there either, right, with that side. So, yeah, I look at what Palace are doing. I look at what Bournemouth are doing. I look at what Forest are doing. I look at what Brighton are doing. And I think, yeah, they've got managers that actually coach and they actually understand what they're doing. This guy's got no idea what he's doing, man. And when he's coming out and he's giving it to fans and he's giving it to reporters, for me, Ange Postecoglou is the cringiest person to listen to in football in terms of like looking down, screaming, shouting, getting the hump, having to go at fans, having to go at the media, trying to lie and say that he didn't hear what was going on and didn't cusp his ear to try and give it back to the fans. He's lost the relationship and lost the fans, man, completely. It was embarrassing.
He has. And I think the fans don't mind. I think the fans wouldn't have minded so much if we were doing domination in the location. You know, I told you when we lost to Newcastle at St. James's Park that we played Newcastle off the park and we lost. I don't mind that, but bro, like we've gone. There's been 9 games this season where Spurs have registered one shot on target. Like mad. Like 9 games. Like that.
Have some fucking respect, mate. Have some fucking respect, mate. You know what I mean? You're a young kid, mate. You're a young kid.
Man, he's a nutter, isn't he? He's a nutter. Look, man. Yes,
when did Jules call him Chief Wiggum?
Let me close. Let me close on a question each as we wrap up, man, because we do need to wrap now. Don, where are Chelsea finishing, bro?
Bro, you know, so funny, Potts. Even though we dropped points today, we're still finishing 4th this weekend, bro. It's hard to predict, honestly, man. We've got Ipswich next, then we've got Fulham and Everton. Bro, I don't know, man. It's so hard. I'm gonna say 5th.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 5th. I'm just not confident right now.
Okay. KV is not a fan. He says Don must have got cheated on by a girl who's an Arsenal fan. The hate is too deep. I know he hates Arsenal, man, but
no. Do you know it's a lot of your fan base like a gal who are just very, very delusional and very much. What way is it of Arsenal fans, right? I feel like a lot of Arsenal fans fail to watch other teams, especially Chelsea. So a lot of their takes are just like Arsenal orientated. Like I heard someone the other day trying to tell me Caicedo's not good defensively, and I'm like, what? What do you mean he's not good defensively? You're not watching us. You know what I'm saying.
Crazy take, man. Crazy take. Rich, are you winning the FA Cup and can you push for a Conference League play?
One game at a time. Let's just make sure we get through Villa first. You know,
love that, man. Very sensible answer, man. Very sensible answer.
But league position wise, I would say 10th. I think Orange is too difficult to push up.
Nah, you're not like D, man. You're sensible, bro. And normally I get some controversy, but with you, it's just straight talking, man. Love it. Deji, let me ask you this, bro. Yeah. You've got one manager you can appoint. You're in charge of Tottenham. Who you getting?
I wanted Marco Silva before we brought in Postecoglou. Marco Silva or Iriola. But can I just quickly add to my learned friends their predictions? I think for Don, Don is seriously looking at 6 this season. Rich, I predicted if Newcastle won the Carabao Cup, I had Aston Villa to win the FA Cup, and I then had Spurs to win the Europa League. It doesn't make sense, but 3 teams that haven't won a trophy in I don't know, in over 100 years would have just picked up trophies this season. I'm still hoping for that and Ange out because, you know, I like to eat my cake and eat it. But yeah, I'll take Marco Silva on that one.
Interested, man. Very interested. Look, I can't leave without bigging up Fulham. I know the title's done and I know that Arsenal are out of it and rah, rah, rah. But big up to them, man, because today they come up against a Liverpool side that have lost once against Forest at Anfield. And today, from what I hear, fair play. Fair play. I didn't watch it, but when I looked at it and see they were 3-1 up, I literally could not believe my eyes. So fair play to Fulham. Deserve respect. Yes, they weren't great against us. But like you say, Dej, Marco Silva is not getting enough respect, in my opinion. What Fulham are doing and what he's done there, I think he's been excellent, man. So I totally agree with you, Dej. I think that'd be a great shout for the next top Spurs manager. I think as long as you back him and give him some time, I think that for me would be a very good appointment. So we'll see what happens. What's a shame though is that when Bournemouth do well, Iriola's going to go Spurs. When Kieran McKenna's doing well at Ipswich, he's going to Spurs. Glasner, we've spoken, going to Spurs. I think some of these managers actually need to look at what they're doing and just respect where they are and what they're doing and say, do you know what? Maybe that next leap is just too much. We've seen it with Nuno. We've seen it with other managers. Graham Potter, for example, is a great example. I know now gone back down to West Ham, and I don't know how you think he's doing there, but I think some of these managers need to stay put and enjoy the ride because, to be fair, this Premier League season next season, it's anyone's, man. I'll tell you this now. The way I'm looking at it, anyone can win the league next season. I think there could be 4 or 5 sides that could be going for it. I think it could be the closest in a while, but we'll see what the summer holds, man. Listen, Don, how can people follow you, bro? How can people check you out?
Yeah, listen, Don CFC on YouTube as always, people. Greasy Don on Twitter. Look out for Blue Diaries tomorrow, people. I'm going to be live with Rants as well on his channel about 5:30. I'll be on midday live tomorrow on Saeed's channel as well, people. So make sure you look out for that one. But yeah, man, big up the panel, man. Big up Rich, big up Deji, big up Potts. Obviously, big up Lawless, big up D. Where's D got? Is it Turkey?
D's on holiday somewhere. I don't know where. Lawless is at a wedding. So it's been a mad one today. I wanted to try and put a show out. It's been too long, and it's been a good one, man. So I'm glad I did. Big up to Igal as well, who come on earlier.
Yeah, big up Igal. Big up Igal. Big up the chat, man.
Big up to Igal. Do you know what? I haven't been on a stream with Igal and Don for a long time, and it did not disappoint. Rich,
the first one you've been on since the whole situation, bro.
Yeah, it probably has been. Yes, it's mad. Rich, likewise, man. Shout out your stuff, bro.
Yeah, it's Eagle Eye Football on all platforms pretty much. So I appreciate it. I think this is London debut. If you had told me beforehand that it would be chaos, I would have brought the chaos with me, you know. So but I appreciate you, man.
Nah, come on, man. I appreciate you for jumping in for D, man. And that's always going to happen if he's not about. And Deji, likewise, bro. Thanks for jumping on. I know you're mad at the moment, so I really appreciate your time, man. How can people follow you, bro? Oh, are you there, Dej?
Yeah, sorry, I'm in and out of lagging. Yeah, Deji Spurs, really. I'll be cussing Ange until he leaves. And that's about it.
Love that, man. Love that. Listen, this is going to send you over to Igal. I'm actually live again at 9 o'clock with Lee Judges. So make sure you go over to Lee Judges TV. You'll see me and Lee talking about the Arsenal game yesterday and Arsenal in general, looking towards Real Madrid. And make sure you like and subscribe, people. We will see you next time. We're out of here. Latest, people.